about, wow, he's really delaying that factory there.
True.
What if Life had gone for an early all-in? This would be a good map to do it on.
All right, well, let's get into things again. Then game number 2 between these in the round of 4s. We have spawning up to the top left. 1 game up right now as our blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is TaeJa. Uh-oh, and down to the bottom right-hand corner as our red Zerg needs to tie the series up here. Representing StarTail, give it up for Life.
Already we see TaeJa making some fun decisions. 8 barracks. 8 refinery. This is a build order that has a very odd arc to it. You begin the pressure early. You're gonna deal damage early. Oh, you just need to cut to the right. You just need to cut to the right. No, but this is amazing star sense from Life. He is aware that this is a good map to do some weird cheeses on, and he has sniffed it out perfectly. What is he?
Where's he going?
No way. No, this is the anti-play right now. Oh my God, this is gonna be a devastating blow because right now Life has no way to defend at home.
Oh my God. Oh, wow. Well, you were saying that, you know, if he'd have sent that drone over there and not seen anything, that would have been fantastic for him. But overall, him going for this wild strategy to get aggressive. But there's going to be a Reaper on his doorstep very, very soon. He could even start a bunker if he wanted to and make this even more annoying.
But Reapers can't be in 2 places at once. The forward hatch, maybe it'll get Lings enough out to destroy TaeJa's economy in the main base. If you are TaeJa, your immediate thought right now is, what the hell is going on? You're looking at the timing. You don't see a hatch anywhere.
Exactly.
You see a very late spawning pool. You see a very late gas, and you are starting to get curious. What do you have in store? And I actually, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but I think Life has a huge advantage right now. He's going to have his hatch done. In the mid, he's going to have his weird center map hatch done, and right now, TaeJa loses the SCV.
Very, very nicely done there for Life to start things off. He then makes a spine crawler as well. Needs to keep microing his drones, keep his economy alive as quickly as possible. During all of this, the Reaper will still be annoying, but the 6 Lings already on the way out here, which will be able to fend this away. They're actually in defense for this. So deal with this, then I guess get aggressive later, because he knows extra Reapers were going to be on the way.
Life has actually got to begin getting active with that hatch now. He has got to get that hatch underway, and there it is. 6 Lings are going to swell out all at once. Right now, TaeJa has canceled this. If you are in TaeJa's shoes, you are saying, there is no way I am behind right now. And oh my God, is TaeJa about to be in for a big surprise.
That wall-off needs to get up very, very quickly at that front. If it does not, those Lings flood in, and he actually doesn't even see it in time. Life brings it, Life brings the thunder very, very fast here with this proxy. That's a hatchery behind that wall side dollars. He has no units back at home. He needs to go back with those Reapers, but by the time they get back, the SCVs, he cancels the factory as well, has to start it elsewhere.
Speed begins for Life. He has all the opportunity in the world. Hellions are not going to be here for days. We see Zerglings splitting themselves up, some going for the workers, some going with the Hellions. This is a hard game to predict. I don't see this often, Kalaris.
But the thing is overall, this hatchery, what's it really going to do later on? That's a big, big investment there for Life. Who really wanted to do big damage with this, and in the end, the Reapers actually cleaned that up pretty well. Only 4 workers lost overall, and he's going to lose this hatch eventually.
A big opportunity right now for Life is this is the big counterattack beacon. There is no chance for TaeJa to comfortably leave because these larvae can lead to a counterattack so often. The Queen's going to come out because sure, why not? She's probably going to begin spreading a little creep.
Yeah. And this is just going to continue on. Life either really does big damage, gets one of the Reapers as well. But Bunker is on the way. That's going to help a lot at the front. Really needs to be able to repair this wall once this power comes, because there's going to be so many Zerglings with this force.
Now, you can build spine crawlers on the low ground, but as we see TaeJa already smelling out the potential there, he is going for tanks immediately. Speed is nearing completion. I mean, Baneling bust. I mean, do you want to go for that at a time like this? Oh, Life gets another one.
Only one more left now. Only one more left at that front. But again, as you said, that tech lab being added onto the factory, that's going to buy a good amount of time once that siege tank comes out. First time he actually tries to go down with a Reaper again. He needs just a little bit of firepower to hold off those Zerglings at this point.
TaeJa noticeably flustered, floating around 600 minerals, neglecting to build a command center for 30 seconds. Very unusual. TaeJa is starting to get a little uncomfortable. Life, though, is known for these sorts of moves.
Ooh.
He's been doing crazy plays since his entire career began. These are the spots where I think Life is known to shine.
Overlord should be able to get away just on that very top edge, and in the end, all this creep is really annoying. He will deny that low base location for a while, and then cleaning all this up with multiple scans is quite costly for a Terran. So Life, considering the position he was in, is making up with it with alternate diversion tactics in the end. This
Quickly to positions. He sets himself up right outside the expansion, and as we're going to see, Life is going to try to ring his creep tumors as far around where the command center will be as possible. So that way we'll take 2, sometimes 3 scans to pick off all the creep generating areas.
And I think that spine's quite a clever position, because he would have to arguably move away from down a little bit the ramp to reach it with his siege tank if he wanted to clean it up. And then obviously there's a threat of Zerglings, so you have to be careful with the siege tank there. But you know, TaeJa is TaeJa. He's dropping down that bottom left-hand side, and he'll always look for opportunity to try and do some damage when he is on the back foot being a little bit contained.
Now this is the spot where we have the normal thought process going on for Terran drops, but now a Raven, a very cool little TaeJa move. He wants to make sure that he's not spending any scan, not getting any farther behind. We already have speed for Life. His queen count is relatively high, but they're spread out. The drop in the main base begins. TaeJa's looking for a chance to gain edge.
Yeah, if he can get the queen, that would be nice. So any drones he could get really in this as well would be very good. But he repositions himself, making it hard for these Zerglings to do much. And any little bit of damage that he can do to these Zergling numbers or even drones, it's a very... How many of those does he save with all of those links going down?
Oh my god,
That's
TaeJa.
amazing!
TaeJa starting to power up. He's... Oh, whoopsie daisies. TaeJa powering down. I apologize. I misspoke too early.
Well, he's going to be sticking around for a while here. How many drones can he get during all of this? Starts focusing them down, realizing that's the big damage he can do. Gets a few more. Worker count 29 to 27 right now.
I mean, this is an indescribably weird spot. TaeJa, as you can see how flustered he is by losing his medevac to the Spore Crawler. The slow process of reducing the creep spread begins. We have a queen with enough energy to transfuse double creep tumor behind to ensure the longest possible spread.
And trying to push out all in all, he really needs to get his economy up and running, because behind this, Life has his natural. He's going to have his third base going pretty soon as well. So does need to kind of catch up in that regard. And also what Life has been doing very well on the right-hand side during all of this is actually spreading the creep spread even further towards his opponent's extra fourth base and then towards his bases. So reinforcement later on will be fantastic for Life. He's certainly making the best out of his situation earlier on.
We're seeing the transfuses on the queens. The Zerglings show up just in time to kill off a couple of these units, but the Banshee, oh, what a wonderful scout for Life to have seen the Banshee. This is the sort of play that will catch Zergs off guard. The first drop already did sufficient damage, and now we see TaeJa sprinting, trying to kill off as many creep tumors as possible to begin to go into a macro game, but TaeJa has to wait so long for that creep to recede, Kelaris.
Yeah, it bought him quite a bit of time in the end. Yeah, of course, he can clean it all up really nicely with the Raven, but all the while they're cleaning this up, they're not over the other side pressuring, right? So Life can eke out a few more drones, can get his queens up and running back at home as well. Just a few Zerglings to defend, and already layers on the way during this weird, wacky game. We're almost at the 13-minute mark, and this is how it's turned down.
We see +1 and +1 Carapace begin for Zerg. I believe no upgrades yet for TaeJa. What are his next steps? He has the third command center, but I think the most critical piece for long-term play is upgrades. I mean, having a lot of stuff doesn't matter if all the stuff is weak. So TaeJa's really put himself in a tough spot. TaeJa's now has to kill tons with these Banshees and Hellions. And what do you do if you're Life? You know you just need to stay alive. You're going to overbuild Zerglings. You're going to overbuild defenses, knowing full well that it's a safe play.
And Centrifugal Hooks being on the way now, as long as he can just stop any little pushes coming out on top of the creep there, he should have ample amounts of units to be able to quell any kind of ground force that will come along. And the Banshees aren't really finding too many holes right now, so they're not really killing off any workers, as Life has taken a little bit of a supply lead in that regard, which is nice for him.
The big keys that we're going to need to see out of life soon enough: extra hatches, getting higher tech, getting Mutalisk, being able to apply pressure. The Spire begins, but it's a very late 14-minute Spire. He's going to have Mutalisk around 16 minutes. The Queen's still zoning. Man, I mean, life has all these preparations in advance.
At least the Overseer was here to try and deny this, but at the same time, Queen's overstepping the mark a little bit, loses one of them, and the Zerglings get completely roasted. He has to be careful once again, because the Hellions did a lot before, and they could do a lot again.
Losing a Banshee there, I mean, these are little tiny moves you don't really see TaeJa make. Just little errors here and there. TaeJa's sense is, again, a little bit off. He's getting the turrets quite far too early.
Yeah, it's very evident from that it's not a normal game, basically. As
surprise!
At least he saw this drop though coming out and did live, so he can technically reposition his Zerglings, etc. up here. Yeah, I think he broke those rocks down to actually get his fourth base up there, which is really nice to see from Zergs. It allows you to be a bit tighter across those locations, but again, these Hellions pose a significant threat. There is a lot of them.
We see 2-2 beginning immediately for life. TaeJa is poised to make a very dangerous attack on this fourth base. We see the, oh no, a couple Banelings wander themselves out straight into the firefight. Auto turrets plop down. Life just got a flood of 20 Zerglings. Does he have enough?
The Baneling's going to roll forwards. Actually connect with a lot of the Hellions up to the top right-hand side, but at the same time, focusing down a lot of the Banelings on the left with the Marines, able to push forward. This force still has a lot of power, but here come the flood of Zerglings, extra to try and hold off against this. The Marines still stood stepping back. A lot of the Hellions have died off, but this Banshee all the while doing so much damage.
Oh my God!
And once again, TaeJa is just making this look totally simple. It cuts through like butter.
And now with the Raven, he has the detection to push even harder, eliminating creep tumors, no risk of any burrowed antics. The Zerglings are all that stand between life and elimination. His Queens have already been pulled down. He doesn't have that much support from those units. Mutalisks are out. Their numbers are not high. TaeJa target fires one immediately. The Queen trying to step up, tries to get the Raven, does it successfully, but mine's on the backside, and this fourth base for life is gonna fall.
Yeah, separates a few Lings up there to try and get some of these Widow Mines. He gets one, but may end up forgetting about a second one during all of this. Mutalisk might feel wrath of it. Nope, doesn't, in the end, doesn't go too near. So extra Zerglings looking to soak that up. He has to be so cost efficient here with the few units he has. The Banelings need to get good detonations if he were to continue on.
Well, all this is going on in TaeJa's main base. He has added on a swell of basic structures, but still is a little bit behind. He has these 5 barracks, some of them still getting add-ons. So that bank we see in TaeJa's corner is going to begin dwindling very, very fast. 2-2 is done for life. That is his one big edge right now.
Well, he's trying to do something with these Lings at the beginning, but overall, they didn't really catch too much. Here come the counter-attack Lings, though. Get a few Widow Mines. Worker advantage as well as army.
But these little Zergling moves are what life are known for. These are his strengths, and this is what King Sejong's station is allowing him to do. There's more paths to attack, there's more open space, and even though he's behind and he doesn't have the extremely critical 4th base, he can always make magic happen if he has enough Zerglings.
Mutalisk looking to go on some kind of counter. One of them will end up being killed off, and that's quite a lot of Mutalisks. Not too bad, but he already had a missile turret there. He could reinforce again to actually just take that out with some of his reinforcements that were coming out. And he's not even going to get the missile turret.
Oh my God. This is a move that only TaeJa is allowed to do. No other Terrans think that you can have 1 turret per base and be cool. His reaction timing is just out of this world.
Yeah, a few Banelings going for a counter, really not doing a whole lot. All even splits against those that are still a big supply advantage here for TaeJa, whose army is looking extremely scary right now. Life has to get a very good engagement. 116 army supply against this? How does he even get this far?
I mean, you heard me dirtling about, oh, he's going to be behind on upgrades. I'm surprised he doesn't have them. TaeJa doesn't care, and we're starting to see why right now. Mutalisk, be careful!
There's a lot of Widow Mines out as well, Day 9. So he could just set up a really strong Widow Mine field, then push on towards the 4th base again, but Life, you've got to be careful about taking these engagements. The Widow Mines are already in position.
I mean, TaeJa basically says you're ahead in upgrades. I'm going to apply so much pressure that even though I'm well far behind, I'll catch up. And by the time I have, I'll be maxed. Life with the bottom left expansion has a big red target painted on it. Life must defend this attack if he wants to hope to win.
And the scary thing about this location is that the path is very, very narrow, so you have to send Zerglings and Banelings through a funneled location where Widow Mines can be a massive, massive hazard towards that fourth base. That's why you take it over on the right-hand side normally here. But anyway, Banelings hardly did a thing.
Look at the mines unburrowing at the last second. TaeJa's maximizing the amount of mines that he has available at any point in time, and we're starting to see why he needs to keep as many mines available as possible to ensure big hits on the Baneling force.
That scan forward was important, cleared some of the creep so he can extend himself further towards that left-hand side, but at the same time, Life is looking for a flank here. That's a lot of Banelings. Oh, the Widow Mines gets a really good connection on them. As long as he splits against the remaining Widow Mines, that might not be enough. Tries to micro back. There's still more Widow Mines back here, though. Oh, he's killed off so much of the Marines.
Life with an uncanny push manages to get most of TaeJa's units into the deep red. Large numbers of TaeJa's units are beginning to sprint their way back. Life will not pursue. Life is happy with what he received. Now has a supply lead of 150 to 130. I cannot tell a lie. Upgrades in that matchup. If you are ever behind in upgrades as Terran, those Baneling engagements can be so hard to come out profitably in.
Yeah, I think that split overall was, you know, it could have been a little bit better here for TaeJa. Again, he kind of got caught off a little bit by Life. It was a good engagement for him overall. But in the end, this has been the first time he's had a supply lead in about 12 minutes so during this game. So, but can he take advantage of it? Because right now, he's not finding any holes to do some damage.
Zerg units die very, very easily. Even if you're teasing an engagement, you can lose a lot of units to a single set of Thor blasts. And we're seeing for TaeJa, he may have lost that first attack, but he has another one coming. He's got a fourth base coming. And now TaeJa doesn't need to spend any money building barracks.
And he doesn't need to, well, he doesn't really need to burrow those Widow Mines, otherwise they may cause some little splash damage to those SCVs. Just cleans it over with his bio, making sure that he's okay there. But overall, Life saved that base down to the bottom left-hand corner during that engagement, which was very important. He needed to keep that alive during this, and he's still trying to find little avenues of counterattacks with these Banelings.
But I mean, TaeJa is on point. TaeJa's spreading out. What? His
so well prepared.
SCVs, I mean, he's lost, what, one? And now the force of TaeJa is in the center. If you have control of the center, all of a sudden, the defending player has to be reeled all the way into his main base, pulling back on low ground, not having enough vision. You get control of the watchtowers. TaeJa, everything is in his court, and it looks like Life's about to make the big play.
And that scan was very telltale overall. He saw that the hive wasn't there. He knows 3-3 is not going to be on the way. His +3 weapons is on the way here as TaeJa's. As he pushes towards that fourth base, there's not too much resistance here because Life is going for the straight counter. As you mentioned, Lynx try and wrap around that Thor. They get it. Killing that off, allowing the Mutalisks to do a bit more during this might be able to pay dividends here for Life.
I mean, I think Life is actually going to try to storm in and take out production. He's going for SCVs. He's trying to get well far ahead in economy. I don't know how this is going to pay off.
Mutalisks on top of the production here as well. That might be a great position for him as overall as the Baneling's trying to do some damage. Here come all the units, though, that killed the fourth base off. So if he can push the Mutalisks away, then maybe he can establish normality here. But he's done so much damage to his opponent's economy.
Oh, and now Life is trying to make a sprint to the center base. What is it going to be consisting of? Oh my God, enough Banelings to take out this expansion. Is this going to happen? Is he going to charge it on the planetary fortress? He takes out, Is the planetary going to get into red? No, but it doesn't matter. I mean, six workers. Six workers.
How is he supposed to?
Wait a minute. 6 workers, Kalaris.
How has he been able to make up this many Lings and Banelings off like 3 or 4 bases? I mean, he just flooded in with an extra push, got onto that top of that planetary fortress, killed so many workers off. TaeJa, how are you supposed to recover from 8 workers at this point?
I mean, the answer is probably mules. But I cannot tell a lie, Kalaris. As much as I enjoyed my own little joke, mules are actually not as good as a 68 worker count for Life. He's now going to begin producing, albeit less upgraded units, but at a lot higher rate. And every little unit counts right now.
Yeah, he was trying to get back there with his Widow Mines, but they're being picked off. That's actually a good connection. But in the end, they can fly to a corner of the map and get back into their sunny green color very, very soon.
I mean, at this point in time, Life is still in a dangerous spot. He is trying to find an opportunity to break through. The Thor is at the back side. The Overseers keep dying, and TaeJa's refusing to let up.
And here comes the push once again on fourth base. TaeJa knows he's in a bit of a predicament, looks to try and deny the economy once again. That's not that many banelings in the front clump, and actually tries to separate really, really well against that. So the extra banelings coming along can't do too much. And yeah, you were right, Sean. Mules are doing all right for him.
I mean, here's the honest truth. If you look at the army supplies, if you have 9 workers and 113 supply, that means you have a very big army. 102 TaeJa has right now. Although Life can continue to make more and more units, he needs to also continue to make this counterattack pressure work. And TaeJa has the unfortunate truth of needing 4 bases defended at all points in time. Very difficult on King Sejong Station.
Yeah, I like that Life is now just basically double expanding to these locations. How is TaeJa supposed to hit both positions whilst defending? It's going to be very, very hard for him against that many Mutalisks that are so mobile on this map. I mean, that's really the only bioforce he has at this point.
This is the most unusual TVZ I have seen all year long. Overseer joining in. Those Marines, these are the little pickups that Life needs, that Life is hunting for.
Trying to catch up on the worker count. He's at 22 now as TaeJa. Somehow, some way, with the power of Mules, keeping up in terms of the supply overall. But the Mule's actually going to dart in against a lot of this, get a few of those workers as well, and even to the natural.
Uh-oh, he's surrounded. He's guaranteed to lose a couple Mutalisks. But TaeJa's making the smart play every time, picking off the Overseers, making sure the mines are not visible. This is going to make it a difficult, scary play for the Mutalisks to move around the map.
Yeah, killing some of the infrastructure as well overall, but there is a drop on the right-hand side as TaeJa looks to put on the counter pressure himself. And only 6 Widow Mines to go up against the flourishing eventual army of Life. If he can get one of those bases up and running, it's going to be good. But those Marines?
Overstimmed.
Well, yeah.
This is the big play that Life's actually looking for, where Mutalisks are sitting in the main base and TaeJa's going, oh my god, I can't actually attack. I probably got to pull back. But TaeJa again and again and again and again is not falling for any trap. He knows that he has to keep attacking. If he can just shut down 4th base after 4th base, he'll win it.
Yeah, there's a lot of banelings outlying on that scan vision, so TaeJa doesn't know the full extent, but he does now. As those banelings come through, trying to connect with a lot of the Marines, and they get a ton of them, but at the same time, he has a few more in reinforcement, but he lost so many Marines during that he's just going to be able to clean it up. Oh.
TaeJa needs only 10 Marines to make a big play work, but we're seeing Life pick off 1 base at a time. Each orbital. We love to talk about how great the Mules are, but guess what? Mules are all he's got. The drop gets annihilated. This 4th base, maybe Life can afford to let that one die, because as we're seeing, TaeJa is down to a single orbital. He's down to the center expansion. Look out, Life. No! Mine hits everything.
And that's one of the ways that TaeJa's going to be looking to try and get back into this. Basically, really good mine hits. We've seen that change the tide in high-octane ZVTs in the past, but losing all these Marines time and time again to Mutalisks, it's not the position he wants to be in at all.
This is incredible, stunning micro from Life. Look at the amount of resources he's lost and the situation he's still managed to pull himself into, eliminating the main orbital, the 3rd base orbital, 200 Marines lost, standard.
Totally standard at this point in this crazy, crazy game. 32 minutes on the clock right now, and Life continuing to hold on. But it's in the end, I mean, this game is almost a testament to how well TaeJa's been able to hold on from 6 workers or so, trying to keep himself in this, and he still has an army supply advantage.
I mean, I think Life is still refusing to take the engagement. Life goes for the counter in the center. There's a Thor. Thor is not going to be able to deal with this many Mutalisks. Gets shot down almost instantly. There's just one single. Distraction, and now the center expansion taking massive damage. Life doesn't care. He target fires the planetary, and meanwhile the drops getting eliminated too. Did Life pull this off?
There's not enough here for TaeJa. He's trying to scramble, trying for the extra attack over the right side. There you go.